Hey, this is Cody Souza of the American thrash metal band HATRIOT, and you're listening to The Bloodshed with the Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
Hi, Cody. Thank you very much for taking time out for this interview. It's a great honor to have you here, and welcome to the Metal Bloodshed with the Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
Thanks for having me, man.
So you're very welcome. A thrash death black metal band under the name Massacre was formed in California. That's back in 2003 with you, Cody, as the bassist and your brother Nick as a drummer. Tell us, how was this early stage of your life being part of a band? And this band still alive?
Oscar, yeah, no, that was our high school band, and I was in high school. The other members were older than me, and we started with another drummer, and then the drummer fell off, and then my brother joined, which was funny, is he was like still in middle school playing with a bunch of high schoolers and college kids, so he must have been the cool guy at school. But yeah, they exist in a form. They're actually still very talented. I'd love to see them do more. Blake, that's a little kick in your ass. I'd love to see you do more. But no, they're amazing musicians still. Pretty much at one time or another was another member in either one of the other local bands or Oscar. They've evolved into a band called Lyceum now. I believe I follow them on Facebook. I was actually in them for a minute there while doing HATRIOT at the same time. Right before I started taking over vocals, and I had to drop out of Lyceum. So, but yeah, still that very European melodic death black thrash. It's awesome. So, and a little bit of thrash in there, rather, not so much.
I will need to check them out.
Yeah, definitely do so, man. It's awesome.
I'm sure question everybody is waiting for me to ask you, Cody. How was growing up as Steve Zetro Souza sons?
It was cool, man. Like I said, it was you get to grow up meeting all the people in the industry that other people idolize as your dad's friends, you know? So hanging out with people and just talking to people, being able to talk to these people on a normal level, I guess is cool in its own right? And liking these characters in my life because of the music they play or the person they are, not just their internet persona, or if, you know, someone wants to consider them famous, their famous persona, right? But yeah, it was cool, man. Like a lot of insight, a lot of behind the studios, you know, behind the magic, whatever you want to call it. So it was awesome, man. Enjoyed my childhood. I could have rebelled and not been into metal, right? There was one of two roads to go there, and I've always enjoyed it, and the music takes me other places, you know.
Even though having a famous dad, and he was still a very busy man, he always had time to give you love and support you guys, right?
Yeah, he was a very good father, even though he did spend some part of my childhood in and out at Exodus on the road. Regardless, yeah, I mean, he was a good dad. He had a day job, just like I have a day job now, you know, the labor trades. He taught me how to be able to balance this career with a real career at the same time. I guess information or training you couldn't pay for, right?
Cody, that was just a small introduction about you and your family. Let's go back to what we hear for HATRIOT. This American Bay Area thrash metal band, originally formed by Steve Zetro Souza of Exodus and guitarist Kosta Varvatakis out of California. Did you join the band as soon as it was formed, and when did your brother Nick join the band in replacement of Alex's band?
It's funny, the original conception of HATRIOT was actually Nicholas and Kosta. Oscar, our high school band that you asked about earlier, played out in Modesto. There was a band called Cranial Damage, and they were just 100% thrash metal. Well, Kosta was the main member in Cranial Damage, as far as I've been informed to. And my brother and Kosta started jamming. I jammed with them once or twice in this conception of a new band, but ultimately was busy due to my work commitments. So my dad kind of stepped in, and honestly, my cousin played bass for a few months there in the pre-conceptions of the band. Ultimately, though, when the band came out with a CD and actually started playing shows, I was the first bass player to see the stage of that. Yeah, that was pretty crazy there for a minute. And that's kind of the early start of HATRIOT.
Yeah, the band released 2 full-length albums going back to 2013, Heroes of Origin. That was such a Massacre record with killer tunes. I still remember Weapons of Mass Destruction, Bloodstained Wings, and Your Child to Be Damned, to say something. And in 2014, you guys has released the second album down of the new Centurion, second album through Massacre Records as well. Killer tunes, I remember of The Fear Within, Honor in the Rise and Fall, Silence in the House of the Lord, Consolation for the Insane, and many, many more. Cody, how has this album been accepted and to what had it meant for, in the career of the band so far?
So far with the Daze in the Darkness, the overall perception's been good, man. I've really, even when I started taking over vocals and just playing shows, and that's all it was. That was all the buzz it had, was just playing shows, and, Father was no longer in the band anymore. The perception's been good. I'd say the same with those that have heard it early. It's going to those same feats. To me, it's like my biggest thing is worrying if the band is still going to carry on in the same direction it was, and I believe it is. So, which is good. Everything's been good so far, and we continue to keep trucking forward. It's a new HATRIOT with a little more youthfulness in it, but we're definitely still HATRIOT doing HATRIOT.
Since your father have left the band, you guys still keep the same playlist, playing the same type of songs that normally was done with him. So I'm asking this because I had this great opportunity to see you guys live many times in Europe. Still remember all these great tunes.
Yeah, luckily my voice slots in well enough to be able to do everything that Pops does and do what I do too, at the same time. So definitely, like I said, the best thing is it's in the same vein, same route,
The band immediately made a deal with Massacre Records for both albums. Was this because of the connection of your father, Cody, or has the band to really look around for a label?
Well, so there was talks with other labels, major labels, minor, it was, the buzz was out there for what he's done in the past for sure. We started with Massacre. Massacre wanted to help us out, are good friends of our band's management. So naturally we went with them. For him to leave the band and Massacre still to stick their neck out on a product that was going to compare in the same realms to the two albums we did before, it was a no-brainer as well, too. I mean, the good business relationship was already there. We want to continue to take a trust with them. They continue to take a trust with us. Everything's gone good so far for what we want with it.
Okay, talking about Steve leaving the band, why has he decided to step aside back then in 2015? And how did the band decided that you should be the new frontman?
Yeah, they had a flash tour. I believe it was like a short notice leave. Exodus had a tour, and we had two shows coming up. I believe one with MOD in Modesto and then one with DRI in San Jose, and we hadn't officially announced that we weren't going to play the shows. We were going to have to because I believe Father was on the road. And then going from there, we were just practicing, and we were just playing the music, and then I just walked up to the PA, turned it on, and started mimicking him a little bit, not to my own extent, but throwing my own flavor on it. And everyone just lit up in the room, and you could see that they were like, dude, you could do Dad super fucking.
We don't need to look for the vocalist more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't think if it wasn't me, I think we would have had to change titles, right? The fact that we're still keeping it within the family and doing that same tones with newer sounds to it too, the death growl, some of the mids and stuff, but it's definitely, we're enjoying it. It was cool. It happened. Father wanted, Dad, Pops, whatever you want to call him, he wanted to hear me on a track, so I actually went up to Juan's Trident Studios, who helped out did our first two and helped out on the third album. He retracked some Dawns on the Virgin Dawn tracks of me singing them, and he agreed that I was a better move for the band, just being with more availability, a little more as the youth, and it's been a natural shoe-in since.
Cody, since the band foundation, there has been a different lineup changes. Could you please present us the current band lineup, please?
Yeah, so it's the same core three with me, Nicholas, and Kosta. We pretty much are, with our management, HATRIOT, and in essence. And then that other guitar player has always been a sticky person to find. Not that we're egotists or that we're hard to get along with, but just finding someone that's dedicated and down for the same cause as us. It looks that we found that with Kevin. We've known Kevin since he's been a kid, and he has the ability to hang and play the rhythm guitar sections, and then also helps out a lot with band management, social media organizations, a lot of PR here and there with dealing with different vendors and everything else. So Kevin is the newest member that you'll see a change with on this album, also minus my father, of course. So
the sons of Steve Zetro Souza, Exodus, continue to create top-notch thrash madness as you expect from Souza family, with a brand new album to be released on July 26th via Massacre Records. Cody, if you don't mind, could you please go over the album tracking list from Daze into Darkness?
Cool. So yeah, obviously the new album from HATRIOT is from Daze into Darkness. The album opens up with a song called One Less Hell. This song is about a female that chooses to kill her abusive husband instead of taking her own life in terms to escape. So that's her one less hell to answer, is answering to her husband at the end of the day. The second song is the album title with a little bit of a change in spelling there. It's Daze Unto Darkness. And it's kind of about society moving into darker times. It seems like a lot more latent hatred in politics and everything else going on, the atrocities of the world, terrorism, everything else. So that one, it's a double meaning, right? Either our days into darkness or that we daze out into darkness as in passing out. Third track of the album is Carnival of Execution. Carnival of Execution is about a carnival that triggers people's need to see things that are gory, like gladiators or bullfights or anything, and slowly the demon sucks them into a carnival and kind of turns them into the act at the end of the night. 4 is Organic Remains. That's what Kosta wrote the lyrics on that one. That one goes over, I believe it's like the Crusades and a bunch of religion themed course of events. 5 is World, Flesh, and Devil. That one is about kind of the Greek warriors, the gods. My brother wrote that one. You hear the mention of Kratos and everything else going fighting for the Empire and everything. The 6th track on the album is Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. That one is about a Frankenstein being a monster of society, and society wants to take him down, much like people on death row. The monster's pretty much on death row, and the villagers aren't having the due process and want to kill him immediately. 7 is In the Mind of the Mad. That one is just from a point of perspective of the insane populace, people that are, the mental health issues that aren't getting addressed in the world, overlooked, abused. 8 is the song my brother wrote called Delete. It's about the Mandela effect. So how things in your life, you could swear every dollar in your pocket is some one way that you remember it, and it's not like that anymore. He's super into those kind of theories and stuff. So look up the Mandela effect. That one will make a little more sense. And then the closing track of the album is Ethereal Nightmare. So that song is loosely based off a horror icon that kills you in your sleep. You'll find a lot of similarities there, i.e. Freddy Krueger, pretty much. It's an homage to him. So, yeah, that's the whole tracking list and kind of what each song's about. Kind of gives the tone, the cover artwork a little bit, and just where our days we know are going.
band's third album via the Germans Massacre Record. I want to say hi to and thanks to Dustin Hartman for making this possible, this interview. How are things going between the band and Massacre Record for the third release, Cody?
Everything's good, man. Like I said, we really love Massacre for giving us a chance to distribute another album without Father on there, you know what I mean? Which means they really believed and trusted in the craft that we had going on, and we believed and trusted in the process that they're going to help us out. So it went well.
Very great to hear that. Cody, since the band took 5 long years in order to come back with a new album, and also this is the first album with you as frontman, how was the writing process been, and how long has this taken?
The album was done actually relatively quickly after Heroes of Origin. Obviously changes here and constant restructuring. It took so long because the changing of the guard, obviously. I was singing a lot of personal endeavors too, a lot of work related issues, promotion, schooling, you know, just kept us from, we never stopped playing and practicing every week. We never stopped playing shows. We just kind of put the record on the back burner for a bit there and eventually came full circle with it. So,
but how was the working done for the mixing and master at Juan Urtiaga at the Triding Studio, and the production you guys done at HATRIOT recording with Cody Fuentes?
Yeah. So Cody, good job. He tracked everything, got it going for us, and then Juan ended up putting it together. I laid my vocals down at Juan's. I mean, between the two of them, they were a big help in us getting this forward and helping, you know, the product that's in my hand right now, looking at. So
Paolo Gira created a very symbolic album cover featuring themes based upon horrors around the end of the world.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy that surrounds religion and corrupt world leaders, and the carnage bestowed on the final days of humanity. How did you guys get in touch with Paolo? Did he already work on the band's previous album artwork?
No, that was a connection that our new guitar player Kevin had with him. So I guess he had done work for him in the past and continued to help Kevin out. And Kevin was a member of HATRIOT. We decided to go with him, and it looks awesome and came out exactly how we wanted it too.
If I'm not wrong, there was already 2 lyric videos out. The first one was for the song Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, and now for Organic Remains. Cody, with only 2 weeks approaching the release date of the band's new album, will there be more video being a premiere as yet?
Yeah, one's getting teased right now. I can't say the title of it, but there will be one more lyrical video release before the album comes out.
How was the band presentation on May 4th with you at Toots Tavern, that's in California?
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, we just, one of the local gigs, local promoters, play with a bunch of good friends, just go out and have a good time. That's what keeps HATRIOT driven, is us just going out, no matter how big, how small the show is. We go up there, do what we love to do, have a fun time doing it, and just enjoy it, man.
I saw the video, HATRIOT, the last act of Deviance with Steve Souza Exodus cover live. That was April 13. Yeah, that's in Oakland, Metro in Oakland, California. You still do many presentations together with your father?
Here and there. I think the last time he had played with us before that was like 3 years ago. We were playing with Flotsam and Jetsam and Death Angel in Sacramento, and he came out and did our closer of Heroes of Origin, self-titled Heroes of Origin. Since then, he does it sparingly. It doesn't happen actually too often. He would like the nepotism of him no longer being in the band for the band to speak for itself, right? So if he's not there and we still kick ass, we're not carrying that. Now we play shows. The guys in Violence have been friends of, my father's my whole life, and I've known them very well. And that was something he came out to do. Pretty much carried on without him. He had manages and helps here and there, but that's the extent of it. So.
Cody, I see that the band has a show talking about Sacramento this November 2nd. What can the fans expect of the band at the show, and who else will be playing there that night?
It's a retirement show for one of the local promoters that got us up into the Sacramento area, Tina, and she asked us to do it as her last show she's doing. So, of course, we said yes. Probably what to expect, definitely more new material. We'll still play our sacred hitters. When Heroes and Dawn came out, we played albums in their entireties. So that would be cool for the people to hear. And move forward on that. So,
Cody, my last question: will there be an album release party either before or after the album release?
Yeah, so there's a listening party in the works. I can't say too much, and then there's a show at a certain venue in San Francisco. I also can't say too much about at the moment in the coming time here. So. Yeah, we have some plans. It's all under wraps, though.
Okay, HATRIOT are back with a new album featuring grim, nefarious lyrics with subject including the end of the world, conspiracy theories, horror icons, and a new world order. Please, Cody, say hello to all the band's members for me, and say hello to your father, Steve Zetro Souza, and tell him I'll be coming to Zetro's Toxic Vault.
Definitely do it. Yeah, he loves having everybody on. I guarantee he'd have you on there. He's a pretty open book about that. So I will tell him you did say hello. I'll tell everyone you said hello. Everyone keep your ears peeled, ears and eyes peeled for the 26th. It's definitely a new flavor on thrash metal with a little more youthful death metal thrown in there, and still stays vain to what HATRIOT does the best. So
Cody, I want to thank you once again for making this interview possible. I want to hand you over the microphone of Metal Messiah Radio for you to invite all your friends, your fans to support the band, to buy the band early albums, to buy the new albums, support this band, buy merchandise, and to attend the concert, the shows you have coming up.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like I said, we don't make any money on this, little to none. We do it because we love it. We do it because other people love it. So anyone wants to reach out and help support as much as possible, that's the best thing you can do for us. So
the word of great success with this great new album from Daze to Darkness. I'm saying bye-bye and, take care and have a good luck with this great new album, Cody.
Definitely. I appreciate your time and stay in touch, man. Thank you. All Metal Messiah listeners, help support this, and hopefully we can get out to you guys soon.
Thank you very much. Say hello to Steve and all the best, Cody. We're going to keep in touch. We're going to keep an eye on you guys, your career.
Awesome. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Also,
Metal on.
When you